Hello. Okay. Good morning to everyone. I am Kumar Reddy. Today's session is a utilization of electrical energy. Unit 1. Selection of motors. In this one, today's session is a part 4. Okay. Today's session is a part 4. Today date 24/8/2020. From here, class 4 will be started. Classification of loads with respect to duty cycle. Okay. Classification of loads with respect to classification of loads with respect to duty cycle. First one is a continuously duty cycle, and a second one is short time duty cycle, and a third one is a intermittent duty cycle. In first one, in first one, there are two types of duty cycles, that is continuous duty at a constant load cycle, and second one is continuous duty at a variable load cycle. Okay, already we know that what is a duty cycle. Duty cycle means T on by T on plus T off. T on plus T off. Okay, here T on plus T off is equal to total time period T. Okay, you can say that T on by T on plus T off, or T on by total time T. Okay, T on by T. This is called a duty cycle. Okay, in this duty cycle, there are three types: continuous, short time, short term, and intermittent loads. In this first one is a continuous duty cycle. In this continuous duty cycle, this states that continuous duty is the duty when one period is so long that the motor attains a steady state temperature rise. The motor so selected should be able to withstand the momentary overload capacity. This type of motors will have this type of motors will have high efficiency because they will be operated almost at its full load, and also have good power factor.
Dulu,
Hello.
dulu bernama dulu.
ఓకే, అందరూ కూడా మైక్ మ్యూట్లో పెట్టుకోండి. ఓకే. Okay, continuous duty cycle. Continuous duty cycle means on time should be very long. See here, this is the on time should be very long. Okay, if it contains a long T on period, then it is called a continuous duty cycle. Okay, if this T on period is very low, okay, this T on period will be very low, then it is called a short term. Okay, if T on is on and off and on and off and on, this is called intermittent loads. Okay, we have three types of duty cycles. First one is continuous, second one is short term, and third one is intermittent. In continuous duty cycle, T on period should be long, then it is called a continuous duty cycle. If a T on state is a very short, then it is called a short term duty cycle. If T on is T on off and on, on and off, on and off. Okay, switching between on and off, then it is called intermittent loads. Okay, intermittent means changing. Okay, changing from on to off and off to on, again on to off and off to on, then it is called intermittent loads. Okay, now continuous means it has a T on, long T on, then it is called intermittent, sorry, if T on is a long, if T on is a very long, then it is called a continuous duty cycle. In this continuous duty cycle, we have two types: continuous duty cycle at a constant load, and a second one is a variable load. Okay, here first one is a continuous duty at a constant load cycle. Continuous constant load cycle, that means a output is a always constant. Okay, output is a always a constant. Here output is a torque. Okay, here output is a torque. Why? Because these are motors. For motor, output is always mechanical energy, input is electrical energy, and output is mechanical energy. For mechanical energy, outputs are torque, T comma, and T, angular displacement. Okay, T is the torque and theta is the angular displacement. Here torque means we already know what is a torque. Torque is the rotational force. Okay, torque means a rotational force. Next, theta. Theta is the rotational displacement. Okay, that means a distance in a rotating path. Okay, force in a rotating path is called torque, and distance in a rotating path is called theta. Next, in continuous duty with constant load cycle, the load torque remains constant. Okay, here load torque remains constant. See here in the graph, it indicates a constant load. Okay, constant torque, hence it is called a continuous duty at constant load. Examples are conveyors, compressors, fans, etc. Next, continuous duty at a variable load cycles. That means it should be varying. Okay, continuously, but it should be varying. Okay, in continuously duty with variable loads, the load on the motor is not constant, but it has several phases on one cycle. Okay, let us say this is the one cycle. Okay, this is one cycle. In this one cycle, power P1 has a one value, power P2 has a another value, power P3 has a another value. Okay, here output power is not constant. That means it is varying from time to time. Okay, for time to time it is varying, then it is called a variable load, but it is constant. Okay, continuous, but it is a continuous. Okay, in continuous, constant, and variable. Okay, this is the variable load. The selection of motors for this type of duty involves thermal calculation, which is a difficult task. Okay, here loads are changing time to time. It is difficult to calculate the thermal change. Okay, that means heat is increasing at one moment, heat is decreasing at one moment, and heat is a maximum at one moment. Okay, next one is a short term loads. Short term loads, pair indicates name indicates short term short time loads. That means the time is very small. Okay, the time is very small. Suppose this is the total graph. In this total graph, this is the graph, total graph. Okay, okay, here this width, okay, this width is very small. Okay, in this type of duty, load occurrence on motor during a small interval and remains idle for a long time to re-establish the equality of temperature and with a cooling medium. Okay, examples are log gatings, bridges, log gatings, and some other household appliances. That means here the width of the pulse is very small when compared to any load. This width is a very small, and this is called a short term duty cycle. Next one is a intermittent duty cycle. Intermittent duty cycle means the width is not small, but it will be continued. It will be continued for a one cycle. Okay, width is not small, and it is continued for one cycle, and it is repeating. Okay, for one cycle, for one cycle width is not small, and for one cycle it is repeating. For one cycle it is there, and same term is repeating number of times. Okay, then it is called intermittent loads. Okay, next, for intermittent load, there is a equation. We have to calculate theta c. Okay, here theta is the temperature. Okay, here theta is the temperature. Okay, here theta is the temperature. Now we have to calculate the temperature, final temperature of the motor. That means in motor there are two types of temperatures, heating and cooling. Okay, which are very important, heating and cooling. Okay, for that one you have to calculate temperature. Already we know that duty cycle is equal to T on by T on plus T off. Maximum temperature attained with the intermittent loads. Okay, now we are calculating for intermittent loads only. Okay, next, here theta h, theta h1, theta h, theta h1, theta h2 are the temperature rise, and theta c, theta c1, theta c2 are fall in the temperature. That means cooling temperatures. Okay, h means heating temperature, and c means cooling temperature. Next, during on time, theta h is equal to theta f into 1 minus e power minus t1 by th. Okay, this is the general formula. Okay, this is the general formula. Next, theta f. Theta f is the maximum permissible temperature. Okay, theta f is the maximum permissible temperature. Now, theta h is equal to theta f into 1 minus e power x. Let it be. Okay, let it take these term as x. Here x is equal to minus t1 by theta h. Okay, here x is equal to minus t1 by theta h. During off period, tc is equal, theta c is equal to theta h into e power minus t2 by tc. Okay, t2 by tc. Here T1, T2 are the temperatures of variable temperatures. Here T1, T2 are the variable temperatures, and let y is equal to minus T2 by Tc. Let y is equal to minus T2 by Tc. Now substitute equation 1 in equation 2. Here theta h is equal to theta f into 1 minus e power minus x, and theta c is equal to theta h into e power minus theta h into e power y. Okay, in first equation we have theta h, in second equation we have theta c. Okay, here it is the theta h value. Okay, already we know that theta h value is theta f into 1 minus e power x. Okay, substitute these first equation in equation 2. Here one point is there, this equation is like a okay, these equation like a v is equal to v naught into 1 minus e power minus t by tau. Okay, and v is equal to v1 into e power minus t by tau. Okay, these are the general equations in a capacitor inductance. Okay, we see oftenly these equations in a okay, these equations in a capacitance and inductance. Okay, these are the final equations in electrical. These are the final equations in a calculation of inductance and capacitance. That means these like equations will come in a inductance and capacitance derivation. Okay, these are the standard equations. Okay, these equations are these format equation can be applied at any point. Okay, v is equal to v naught into 1 minus e power minus t by tau. This is the rising one. Okay, when capacitance voltage is increasing, this is the value. Okay, v naught into 1 minus e power minus t into 1 minus e power minus t by tau. This is the capacitance increasing voltage, and this is the capacitance decreasing voltage, v1 into e power minus t by tau. Okay, these are the standard equations. These equations can be applied at any point. Okay, same these like of equations is taken here. Okay, theta h is equal to tf into 1 minus e power minus t by tau. Okay, here t1 and next one is a th. Here it is a t and tau. Okay, here t means a variable in temperature, and tau is the time constant. Okay, tau is the time constant. What is the time constant for capacitance? Capacitance time constant is tau is equal to RC. Okay, tau is equal to RC is the capacitance time constant. For inductance L by R. For inductance L by R. These are the time constants for inductance and capacitance. Okay, for capacitance time constant is RC, and for inductance time constant is L by R. Okay, from this we can take equations theta h is equal to theta f into 1 minus e power minus t1 by th. Okay, this is the rising equation. Okay, temperature rising equation, and next one is theta c is equal to theta h into e power minus t2 by tc. This is the temperature decreasing or temperature cooling. Okay, cooling equation. This is a heating equation, and this is the cooling equation. Okay, like these equations. Okay, this is the rising equation, and this is the decreasing equation. Okay, same like this equation say we take here rising equation, and next one is a cooling equation. Next, okay, similarly the next intermediate means that is the initial conditions. Okay, theta h and theta c. Theta h and theta c are the starting equations. And next one is a theta h1. Theta h1 is the next condition, and theta c1 is the next condition. Okay, and in theta h, next condition is theta h2, next one is theta h3, next one is theta h4, and so on. Okay, here for cooling is a theta c, theta c1, theta c2, theta c3, and so on. Okay, these are the next conditions. Similarly, for that one we are calculating for a next intermediate after theta h. Next one is a theta h1. Okay, here theta h1 is equal to theta f minus theta f minus theta c e power x. Okay, this is also a similar equation in a inductance, in capacitance, sorry, in capacitance. V is equal to V infinity minus V infinity minus V initial e power minus t by 2. Okay, this is the third important equation. Okay, this is the third important equation. First two important equations are V is equal to V naught into 1 minus e power minus t by 2. That is the first equation. Second equation is V is equal to V naught into V1 into e power minus t by 2. That is the second equation. And this is the third equation. V is equal to V infinity minus V naught into e power minus t by 2. Okay, here it is the final conditions. Okay, V infinity is the final condition, V naught is the initial conditions. Okay, like that, same equation. Here theta f is the final condition, let it be final condition, theta f minus theta c. Here theta c is the cooling, that means it is initial condition. Okay, initially motor is at a cooling state. Okay, that is a normal state. Okay, here normal state is taken as a cooling state. Okay, here theta f is taken as a infinity, that is final state. Theta f minus theta c into e power x. Already we defined what is x. X is equal to minus t1 by theta h. Okay, sorry, minus t1 by 2h. Okay, next arrange this equation. Okay, arrange this equation, and we get these equation. Already we know that what is the theta c equation. Substitute theta c in this equation. Okay, we get a final equation. This is the final equation. Okay, next, for a cooling purpose, theta c1 is the second condition, and for that one theta h1 into e power y. Already we have the equation theta h1. Theta h1 is equal to, okay, theta h1 already we calculated here. Okay, theta h1 is equal to theta f into 1 minus e power x into 1 plus e power x into e power y into e power y. Okay, similarly for the next. Okay, next one is a h2. Okay, and for a cooling purpose is a c2. Similarly, theta f is equal to theta f minus here initial condition is theta c1. Okay, here initial condition is theta c1. Previously it is theta c. Okay, now arrange this equation. This is the arrangement of equation. Already we find the theta c1. Theta c1 is the, this is the theta c1 equation. Substitute this equation. Okay, this is the final equation. We are calculating these equations to find the final general equation. Okay, to find the final general equation, we are taking this equation 1, equation 2, and equation 3, equation 4. Okay, that is the condition theta h, next theta c. This is the condition 1. Okay, next one is theta h1 theta c1. This is the condition 2. Next one is theta h2. Next one is theta c2. This is condition 3. Next one is condition 4. condition 5 and so on. Okay, for this first condition we get one final equation. Okay, one final equation, and for the second condition we get another final equation. For third one we will get another final equation. On observing these three equations, we have to find the final equation. Okay, that is the theta n. Okay, theta h n and theta c n. We have to find these final equations. Okay, for that one we are taking the condition 1, condition 2 and condition 3. Okay, similarly for n type, that is a final one. For final condition, for final condition we are taking these equation. Here first term is a constant. Okay, in condition 1 this term is a constant. For condition 2 this term is constant. For condition 3 this term is constant. Only this part is a varying. Okay, this part is varying, that is a, for condition 1 it is a 1. For condition 2 e power x into e power y. For condition 3 e power 2x e power 2y. For condition 4 and so on. Okay, this is the formula. Okay, in this formula we get the n type n times intermittent. Okay, with the help of these expansion, okay, we can calculate this formula. Okay, with this expansion, okay, we can calculate this formula. This formula is 1 minus e power nx into e power ny divided by 1 minus e power x into e power y. Okay, here as n tends to infinity, both e power nx and e power ny will be 0. Okay, nx and ny will be 0. Already we know that for in an exponential e power x is a graph that exponentially increasing, exponentially decreasing. Okay, there are two graphs, e power x and e power minus x. Okay, as a n tends to infinity, both e power nx and e power ny will be 0. Okay, as x and y are negative, if x and y are negative, already we know that what is x and what is y. What is x? Minus t1 by tau h, and what is y? Minus t2 by tau c. Okay, here x belongs to heating, y belongs to cooling. If theta m be the maximum temperature, okay, maximum temperature with intermittent load, then theta m is equal to tf into same equation. Okay, previous equation, but we are substituting these equations. We are substituting these initial and final conditions. 1 minus e power nx. Okay, e power nx, e power nx. Here nx is tends to 0. Okay, here e power nx tends to 0, hence 1 minus 0 divided by 1 minus e power x into e power y. Okay, now this is the final equation. By substituting x and y values, this is the final equation. Okay, theta m is equal to theta f into 1 minus e power minus t1 by tau h and 1 minus e power minus t1 by tau h plus t2 by tau h. Already we know that the formula e power x into e power y is equal to e power x plus y. Okay, e power x into e power y is equal to e power x plus y. Okay, x means minus t1 by tau h and y is equal to t2 by tau c. Okay, where tau h is the heating time constant and tau c is the cooling time constant. Okay, this is the final formula in intermittent loads. This is the first derivation in the chapter, and next derivations are next derivations also heating and cooling. Okay, heating and cooling derivations are there. That are the general derivations. Okay, this is the intermittent load derivation, and next derivations are heating and cooling. Okay, these equations are discussed in the mechanical considerations. Okay, now here third topic is completed, that is a nature of loads. Okay, classification of loads with respect to time, and a classification of loads with respect to duty cycle. Today we completed this topic. Okay, with respect to duty cycle. Next one is electrical characteristics. In electrical characteristics we study only A, B, C only. Okay, we study only A, B, and C. Okay, there is a no need of studying braking characteristics. Okay, these braking characteristics are not in the syllabus. Next one is a characteristics, starting characteristics, and operational or running characteristics. These are studied as a one topic, and speed control as a second topic. Okay, next characteristics, electrical characteristics. See here, these two are in red color, that is one topic. This is a separate color, that is a second topic. This is a not in the syllabus. Next, these are the important considerations before going into electrical characteristics. These are the important considerations. Here, first one, second one, and third one are called starting characteristics. Okay, first one, second one, third one are called starting characteristics. Okay, and fourth one is called operational or running characteristics. Okay, first one is a torque versus current. Second one is speed versus current, and third one is output power. Sorry, output power versus current, and next one is speed versus torque. Okay, see here. Here common point is a current. Current is the electrical, and torque. Torque is the mechanical. Okay, we can say that this is the electrical characteristics, and this is the mechanical characteristics. Okay, and these three are commonly called as starting characteristics, and this is called operational characteristics. Okay, you have to remember this one: torque versus current, speed versus current, output versus current. Okay, these are the starting characteristics, and speed versus torque. Okay, speed versus torque is the operational or running characteristics. Okay, next, types of DC machines. Already we know that DC machine may be a generator or motor. Okay, in design point of view, these are same in design point of view, these are same. Okay, in design point of view, these are same. Okay, hence DC machine, either it is a generator or motor. There are two types: separately excited, self excited. Okay, self excited are three types: series, shunt, and compound. Okay, compound are two types: cumulative and differential. Cumulative means addition, differential means minus. Okay, here fluxes are, suppose fluxes are 500 and 5 2, 5 1 plus 5 2. Okay, in cumulative 5 1 plus 5 2. In differential 5 1 minus 5 2. Okay, here fluxes are added in cumulative, and here fluxes are subtracted in differential. That is the important classification. Next, in cumulative, we have a long shunt and a short shunt. Okay. In differential also, we have a long shunt and a short shunt. Okay. Long shunt means a shunt is connected across a series and a motor. Okay. Series resistance and a motor across a series resistance and motor, that is called a long shunt. Short shunt means it is connected only across a motor. Okay. Only across a motor, then it is called a short shunt. Okay. But what is the difference here? These field winding and a series winding are connected in same manner, then it is called a cumulative. Okay. If a field winding and a series winding are connected opposite to each other, then it is called a differential compound. Okay. Next, first one is a starting characteristics. Okay, starting characteristics and operational characteristics. In starting and operational characteristics, we have three motors. Three motors: shunt, series, and compound. Okay. First, we are discussing about shunt. In shunt, we are discussing starting characteristics. Okay, starting characteristics and operational characteristics. Similarly, in series also starting characteristics and operational characteristics. In compound also starting and operational characteristics. Okay, now in shunt starting characteristics and operational characteristics. Already we know that what is the starting characteristics. Starting characteristics are torque versus current. Torque versus current, speed versus current. Okay, torque versus current, speed versus current, and output versus current. This is the starting characteristics. What is the operational characteristics? Operational characteristics is speed versus torque. Okay, or torque versus speed torque characteristics. Generally, we talk as a speed torque characteristics. Okay. Now, first one is a torque and current. Okay, torque and current equation. For torque and current equation, this is the graph. This is the graph of a total torque, and this is the shaft torque. Okay, total torque and shaft torque. For shunt motors, we have only parallel coil or a parallel resistance. That means this is the motor, and with this motor, field is connected. Okay, here these are connected in a parallel. Okay, hence it is called a shunt. Already we know that what is shunt. Shunt means a parallel. Okay. Now torque, total torque, to current. Total torque to current. We have the formula T is equal to T directly proportional to T is directly proportional to IA. T is directly proportional to IA. Okay. We know that in shunt motors, T is directly proportional to IA. Okay. For T directly proportional to IA, this is the graph. Okay. Whenever it is directly proportional, then graph will be a straight line. Okay, passing through origin. Okay. Next, second one is Second one is a speed and a current. Okay, next one is a speed and a current. Already we have the formula. Speed is directly proportional to, or speed is proportional to EB. Okay, speed is proportional to EB. What is EB? V minus IA RA. V minus IA RA. Okay, now speed is proportional to minus of IA. Okay, speed is proportional to minus of IA. That means negative. Negative means decreasing. Okay, hence from maximum value the speed is gradually increasing. As current is increasing, speed is gradually decreasing. Sorry, decreasing. Okay, hence this is the graph for speed to IA. Okay, next output. Output is up to some value. Output is not generated. Okay, after that output is gradually increased. Okay, that is the this graph. Next one is a speed torque. Okay, for speed torque on combination of like this speed and torque. Already we have speed is directly proportional to EB. Okay, speed directly proportional to EB, and we have to implement a torque. Okay, we have to implement a torque formula in this equation, and these are also a decreasing graph. Decreasing graph. Okay, these three graphs comes under category starting characteristics, and these graph comes under category operational characteristics. Next, characteristics of DC motor. Characteristics of DC motor. Okay, DC motor, already we know that DC motor has a series winding. Okay, now for DC motor, torque is proportional to flux into IA. This is the general equation. Okay, general equation, and speed is proportional to EB. Sorry, EB by 5. EB by 5. Okay, now if torque is proportional to IA square. Okay, torque is proportional to IA square. That means these flux is also proportional to IA. Okay, then this is the graph. This is the graph. Here T directly proportional to IA. That is the, this is the graph representing a parabola. Okay, y is equal to mx square. Okay, parabolic path. Y is equal to mx square is the parabolic path. Hence it follows the parabolic path. Okay, after saturation level, that means flux is saturated. Okay, maximum flux is obtained. Then this is constant. Okay, constant. Then torque is directly proportional to IA, which is a straight line passing through origin. Okay, this is the torque and armature characteristics. And next one is a speed and armature. Okay, speed and armature. Speed and armature, same formula. Here speed is directly proportional to EB by 5. Okay, EB by 5. EB by 5. Here when speed is increasing, same formula, that is EB is equal to V minus IA RA. IA RA. Okay, here speed is proportional to minus IA. Okay, speed is proportional to minus IA. Here graph is decreasing, gradually decreasing. Next one is there is no output, there is no third graph, and here graph is speed to torque characteristics. Okay, speed to torque characteristics. Speed to torque characteristics, which is the running characteristics. Okay, running characteristics are operational characteristics. Okay, here also same as speed and armature current. This is also a decreasing graph, but a small variation. Here small variation is here value is increasing. Here value is decreasing. Okay, but here also value decreasing. The difference is here decreasing quickly and here decreasing taking some time. Okay, here taking some time and here is rapidly decreasing. Next one is characteristics of compound motor. Characteristics of compound motor. In compound motor we have two types. Okay, that is a differential and a cumulative. Differential and cumulative. Differential means minus, cumulative means plus. Okay, this is the speed and armature characteristics and torque and armature characteristics. Okay, that means this is the uh, speed and armature for all motors. Okay, speed and armature for all motors, and next one is torque and armature for all motors. Here series motor has a, this is the graph for a series motor. Here speed is gradually decreasing and cumulative has a also decreasing. Everything has a decreasing, but out of these decreasing, first of all maximum value is series, and next one is a cumulative, next one is shunt, and next one is a differential. Here differential equation, here for differential compound motor, speed gradually decreases and increases to rated. Okay, this is the rated output, sorry, this is the rated speed. Okay, this is the rated speed. This point is called rated speed. Okay, it started from one speed and it decreases gradually and again it attains a rated speed, and started at one point, decreases and attains a rated speed. Started at one point and gradually decreases and reached to rated speed. Here also series also started from one value, decreases and reaches to rated value. Okay, and here also here also torque speed, uh, torque armature characteristics. Torque armature characteristics start from one point and ends at rated output. Here gradually decreasing. Okay, next series is gradually increasing, and compound differential is slightly increasing, and shunt is increases to rated value, and differential compound also increases to rated value. Okay, everything is increasing, but paths are different due to the fluxes and currents. Okay, next one is a speed control. Next one is a speed control. This is the second, this is the third one. Okay, this is the third one, speed control. A and B are completed. A and B are completed, and A is the starting characteristics, and B is the operational and running characteristics, and C is the speed control. Okay, speed control of DC motors and speed control of AC motors. Here discuss about only DC motors. Okay, we discuss about only DC motors. Speed control of DC motors. Speed control of DC motors has three methods: flux control, armature control, and applied voltage control. Already we know that about these speed control of DC motors. Okay, here torque is proportional to phi into Ia, speed is directly proportional to Eb by phi. On combining these two equations are we are combining, oh no, okay, speed is directly proportional to Eb by phi. Here Eb is equal to V minus Ia Ra. Okay, Ia Ra. Now speed is directly proportional to voltage. Speed is proportional to Ia, and speed is inversely proportional to phi. Okay, now these phi is proportional to field current. These phi is proportional to field current. Okay, hence here voltage is varying. First one is a voltage control method. Okay, that is the applied voltage control method, and second one is a armature control method, and third one is a field control or a flux control method. Okay, flux control method or it is proportional to field, hence it is a proportional to field control method. Next, Ward-Leonard method. Ward-Leonard method. This is the one of the important speed controls in factories. Okay, this is the field control method. It contains both AC and DC. Okay, these Ward-Leonard method can be applied to DC and as well as in AC also. Okay, in AC it can be applied, DC it can be applied. Okay, in AC this is the diagram, and in DC this is the diagram. Okay, Ward-Leonard method. This is one of the important topic in a speed control method. Okay, this is the DC diagram. Okay, this is the general diagram, and this is the exam point of view diagram. Okay, in exam point of view we can write we can draw this diagram. Next, definition. The speed control of DC motor. The speed control of DC motor accomplished by means of adjustable voltage generator is called Ward-Leonard method. Okay, the speed control of DC motor accomplished by means of a adjustable voltage generator. That means this is the speed control comes under voltage. Okay, this is the voltage control method. Okay, voltage control method, and it can be applied at any speeds. Okay, it is the voltage control method, and it can be applied to any speeds. That means with the help of these method we can obtain any type of speed. Okay, this is the main point. Okay, okay, we close the session for today, and in next topic we discuss this Ward-Leonard method. Okay, okay, thank you all. ఓకే, అటెండెన్స్ తీసుకుంటున్నాను, స్క్రీన్ షాట్ తీసుకుంటున్నాను.